So greetings, YouTubers. Tim here from Tim Time Projects. So I haven't done a lot of time, but I figured I had to accomplish something today. So one of the things is I wanted to just come down and just check what the bands were like, and I'll show you that real quick. It's I guess around 8:30, somewhere in that area. I don't know, Eastern time in Pennsylvania, so the United States. But this is 5 megahertz, and you can kind of hear the propagation. We'll check that every now and then. So let me just zoom into it so you can see what I'm looking at, and see if you can hear it a little bit. 5 megahertz. Kind of hear it.
Coordinated universal time.
So we'll zoom up. 10 megahertz. Pretty good. I believe it's at 15 too. I can never get those up there. And then Canada has one at what, 3.3 or something? 3.2, 3.3. I don't remember where theirs is. It was right around here somewhere. That's not scary. That's the scary sound frequency. Kind of neat though. That definitely sounds like aliens. There was definitely something from outer space there. 3288. Oh, there they go. 3:33. That's the Canadians' time. Okay, enough about that. Just throw this back up around here somewhere, leave it on in the back run. Upper sideband. Oh, we have to check CB. We just have to. Oliver, I'm going to kill you. Oliver's eating plumbing things. Really? You were just over there sleeping a second ago. You couldn't have stayed down there. And there's a thumbtack right there. I guess I better get that or he'll be eating that as well. Okay. Let's see. Oh, what we're going to do? CB. So what's that? 27. So done. Well, I guess the band's closed up. Okay. You know what? I don't even know that I connected the antenna back up. Let me double check. Yes, I appear to have something back there, so it must be connected back up. Oh, we wouldn't have heard the universal time coordinate that well, W1AW. So, okay. So anyhow, what I came down to do, remember when we were trying to play with the AT, the Kenwood. See, to me it looks like there's a lot of light down here, but then when I watch the videos, there's not really. This is the Kenwood AT200. So I'm just going to take it apart real quick and we'll see what makes it tick and clean those switches that I wanted to clean, and we'll put it right back together. So, bunch of screws here on the side. I think I could just get away with the top half. I don't think I have to take the bottom half apart. So it looks like there's going to be 3 screws, I'd imagine, on this side and on the other side as well. Come on. Turn that down a little bit because sometimes it doesn't seem that loud to me, but I'm going deaf and I watch the video and can't believe I'll let it scream at you the whole time. So, sorry, Ollie. Without running all over, get my hands out of the way so you can watch, just in case you've never turned anything counterclockwise before. So I was thinking about when we were little kids, me and a friend of mine, Tim. Obviously, he has the first name too. That's why we were such good friends. But we used to would run around on the weekends, and like sleep over at each other's house or whatever. And well, this was back in the 70s, so we were all excited because we had these flashlights, and we had heard a story that somebody had a flashlight and was shining it into the air, and aliens came and landed. So I can remember we went up to, I'm going to pull you a little bit closer here and move away from the furnace because that's going to make noise in a minute. They went up to Mr. Burns Hardware up there in the shopping center, and we had to get some light bulbs, and he was like an icon in the neighborhood. He was there for like 100 million years. So, but I don't know why, I was just thinking why that popped into my head the other day, or today. So here's what it looks like on the inside. I'll try and keep it lit up for you a little bit. Tuning capacitors. Gigantic inductor or coil here. Another one tuning coil back here. So when you turn the knobs, you can see the plates mesh or don't mesh. And that's how that part works. Then you can see down here, I don't know if you can see in there, a circuit board. Of course, the switches that needed to be attended to. They couldn't have just been like, open it up and there'd be a switch right there in the open. No, you can't do that. Here's another switch down here to be the band switch. No, that one's the mode switch, or choosing between whether your signal's going to come straight in or go through the tuning network. Then over here would be the band switch. They all look actually very clean. Let me get my I need my supervision goggles because I CSA can't see anything. Let me look. Oh, they look very clean. So let me take a look at what I'm gonna have to do to get this little guy out so we can see him or her. What it is. Alright, it looks like I don't know if I'm going to be able to even take the bottom off and get in there. So let's take the bottom off. Crap, that'll go all kind of stuff you got to take off to get the bottom off, of course. The only reason I was hesitant in taking anything here off is these screws here, they have the green glue on them. Not that it's a big deal, but just looking to see, there's some ugly solder joints on this for being this old. You have to see if I can zoom in to see some of these solder joints. Try and light it up real good. Nice and good. And I think my camera is going to need some stuff re-glued on it again. Remember when I dropped it about a year or so ago? Well, let me see if I can use this Q-tip and point. I'm trying to see if you're able to see the ones I'm looking at. This one right here, oh yeah, you can see my furry hand. Yeah, where are you looking? Let's see. There. I don't know if that's going to be lit up enough. Let me see if I can shine a little light in there. Find that. I know it was here. Let's see, this one here, can you see where my finger is? I'll move my finger all the way and try and zoom in. Try to remember where that is. That's the, looks like the third one over, but it's like just barely soldered. Come on there, focus. There we go. I don't know how that's going to, there it is. So I guess what I'll do then is take this panel out, and in order to take the all kind of crap laying in the bottom, in order to take the panel out, it looks like I got to pretty much take a lot of screws off. Look at the bottom of that. All these, plus the side screws, and then everything should pull out. Oh, I'll zoom back out so you can open it like a giant knob. If I take all these screws out here down below, look at all those, and the side screws, everything should pull out. And of course it wouldn't be rigid anymore. I'm just trying to see if there's an easier way to just take the front end off. Needs a good de-dusting. Let's see if I do that. These wires will. Yeah, maybe. Well, no, because this wire I may not be able to take just the front off. Let's see what happens though. I'll take the knobs off. And then most of that stuff will stay behind, and I'll pull the front panel off. So let me do that. Ouch. Still don't have the full bench here yet. I have so much crap everywhere. This is a smaller screwdriver. I need a smaller one yet. Oh, poop. I may have to just tackle this later and put it back together rather, because I had so much to do. Didn't count on this. Oh, it looks like maybe just the cover comes off. Maybe. Maybe, baby. I'll have you. Now let's see. So I'm going to set this at 5. No, I guess I'm not, because I'll never get to the screw. I'll set it at 10. Sure, there's probably an alignment process for this. I'm saying it to myself. At 10, you can see the. Are you able to see that there? The plates are almost completely unmeshed, just opposite each other. So that's at 10. This down here, the one I took off the bottom, that won't matter. This could always use cleaned. So let's set this one at 10. What do we get when we set that one at 10? Almost exactly the same. The blades, can you see them down there? The capacitor plates are completely unmeshed. Let me get this this guy on here. You know what, I'm going to take this one off first. Then maybe I'll have a better shot. Alright, you stay there now. Make it this C. And you come off, and then you come off. A little bit looser. You see, they're not; these don't turn independently, but they're screwed on independently, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so there's no nuts to take off there. There's no nuts here, only me. So let's see, let's take this. Let's see, is there anything that holds that bottom on? Doesn't look like it. What happens when I take the side screws off? One. Two. Now it looks like there might be a screw in the top here. Undoubtedly there's one in the bottom here. I'm sure that's another bezel screw, and I think that probably the whole plastic bezel will come off. Let me loosen this up just in case it's pinching it. I'll just take that way I know it's loose. Let's see if this comes off now. Okay, so there's the plastic bezel, and that could use clean it up a little bit. Now it looks like see some screws here. I wonder if I take those off. And obviously they're not number 2. Who does number 2 work for? There. I hope this just pulls right off. Yep, the calibration knob just pulls right off. Oh, look at that. So I can get in there and service those after all. That's a little fingerprint or something on there. Not for me, but I can't believe anyone would have ever taken this apart before. See that, how that stuff's running down there? I wonder if that was from maybe some type of a cleaner or something. try a little bit of that contact cleaner, but a lot of people warn against it with the plastic parts because it's got a oil-like back. It's made up with some type of a lubricant, and they say it can affect things like phenolic and plastic. So I can shoot some of that in there and then clean it out with regular contact cleaner. Let me get some of that. I believe it's over here on the shelf. Oh, there it is. I got this on radioshack.com, and it was really cheap. The shipping was a little bit high, but if you bought enough stuff, it was a break on the shipping, and it just so happened that they had some stuff that I was looking for a project. So I'm going to put this over so it doesn't splash up on the lens. I don't think it'll eat it away, but I also don't want to have clean oil off of it. So let me shoot some stuff down here. Might as well shoot some into the cowl knob too while I'm here. Get this out of the way now that it's got contamination on it. How much I can zoom out so you can see more. Keep working everything. Work it, girl, work it. Hold on. I just have to find my other contact cleaner. Pause while I look for that. Alright, I found it, but of course, guess what? Can't find the straw. That's the way it always works. Darn straw thieves. Come on. There we go. And that's just CRC contact cleaner. The other stuff was at the auction. Alright, and while I have it out, I'll shoot some back here on these guys, even though there's no issues with them, but there we go. Hug. And some on the other guy back in here. Work it back about 10 times. Alrighty. Get these two guys kind of out of our way. I want to get something to wipe this down here. So, I'm used to hearing the whistling in the background. It's an African gray, and he calls the dog Stink Dog. Pretty sure he got that from me. You'll hear him say, "Get out of the way, Stink Dog." And then he whistles a lot. This might be a little bit tedious, so I'll turn the camera off so you don't have to watch me do this. But I'm not going to do it too much. It's kind of behind the scenes. But let me... I don't want to wipe any of the numbering off of this when I wipe it down. Just mainly worried about doing the edges because I can clean it once it's all put back together. I'm just using mineral spirits here to clean that, whatever that was. It looked like something spilled on it. This looks like a glue. They might have sprayed some kind of sealer on it when they put it together. I don't know. Who knows? Let's see if I have something to clean that off with. No, he's calling me. Kind of want a nice soft rag. Alright. This little guy here, this can get dusted. Dusted! Alright, let's see. So, you go on like so. Get out of the way, Stink Dog. Alright, Taz, your laugh a minute. Don't mind me, I'm just cleaning this stuff here. Nothing interesting to see here. Nothing to see here. Alright. Will that work? Get there, get there. I think that'll work. Oh, you can come off till we're ready to use you, I guess. Alright, there that puts on like so. And we have these two special screws that go there. They're called pan heads. Kind of the V-shaped head. I forget which one's which, to tell you the truth. I mean, which one's called which. There's the flat head, the pan head, the pot head. Come on. Go. No, you don't go there, dummy. You go in the where they gave us the access hole. Here you go into there. In with you. Yeah, if they have an access hole cut in the case for this screw. And again, since they're aligning plastic, I'm not going to make them too tight or anything. Get this crap out of here. Get a better look at that solder joint. I mean, it's not, I can tell it's still making contact and it's still holding, but it was kind of like very chintzy soldering joint. I figure they go really good on them, but I don't know, maybe they left the solder at home that day. Just a little brush to get in there and clean that off. Where are my glasses? Here they are. You know what? I am going to hit those up. A couple of them that are there. This one here almost looks like they forgot to solder, and I know you really can't see it. There's three of them that look pretty bad. Those three. Ugh. I'll take this on. I don't know what I did with my paper towels. There's a spare in my pocket. It's a squished paper towel. Let me finish. How many times you wipe these kind of things? We see something that I'm not sure if it's on my glasses or if it's on there. Let's see. Alright, that goes up. We don't want to touch this in the slightest. Especially on the inside. You don't want to cross thread for sure, so get them kind of lined up and pull them back till you feel it bump, and then go forward. You know, want to cut your own new threads in here. And again, it's plastic, doesn't have to crank tight. So now I got to make room over here. I don't have a soldering bench set up yet, so I'm kind of working off of this table over here. Alright, I have my soldering iron. It's set at about 700 degrees. I usually leave it somewhere between 600 and 700. And my crunched up paper towel out. A lot of times I use a paper towel to clean my soldering tip. My hands are dead for one thing, but as opposed to a wet sponge. You can put a little bit of flux on this because it's so old. Just a dab. There. And over there's the other. There. There. Wish I had better lighting here. This is going to help you all. Not really. And now you can't see anything. Try and move you over here. To go. Let me see what that looks like. Now you can get one of those wire thingies, you know, they looks like chore boy or whatever you call them. Good. There's one here at the top that I want to hit again. I went a little crazy with the flux, but it comes right off. That's what he's whistling. And one more here I want to hit on as well. Back over to the bench where we can see what we're doing. bring you over here and see it. I don't know if you're able to see it. I don't know how clear that is, or if you can remember it, but you can see the silver ones. They're the clean ones, the ones I just did. There should be 1, 2, and so I can't tell if that's the third one. I can't see past the camera. But if you remember before, the wires were just kind of sticking out into nothing. I'm sure they were soldered, but it wasn't very much solder. Okay, well that's done. Sorry about the vibrations there. Get you back. Let's zoom out again. Oh, the other out when you're not in. There we go. Alright, got that on. Switches. We're going to put this cowl knob on. There's a little white doohickey, so cowl's all the way down there. All the way over this way. So it looks like a good thing. Just a tad more. Yep, that looks good there. Alright, so let me put the rest of the case back on. I think we can do it in that order. I did everything I wanted to do in it. Let me turn the soldering iron off. Excuse me for reaching. Let me put this back on here, like so. Get me screws back out of my little cup there. They should all be the same. Alright, that doesn't look right. None of the screws are lining up. So let's try it the other way. There we go. Note to self, it only goes on one way. I remember taking that screw down here out. Are these screws the same length? Because that one... they're all the same length. That one sure felt like it was too short. Let me see. Yep, all the screws are the same length. I'm going to tighten them up until I get the front all pulled in ready. So this is just the opposite of taking them out. I'm turning them clockwise to put them in. And the reason they call it clockwise, it's the way the clock goes. Spin it around. There. There. And remember, we took one out of the bottom. I can go right here. And again, just be careful starting the screws. You don't want to cut new threads anywhere. Come on. To here. That's good. Make sure the top two are tight. One, and two. Now we put our knobs on. Wipe them off real quick. And now I know why I shouldn't put the case on. Does anyone else know why? Because I may have moved these shafts. I don't think I did, but I may have. And if they did move, then it'll be off a little bit. It's not going to matter, except for if you follow the specifications where it tells you kind of the rough setting. And if you start there, it might not be correct. Yeah, because these will spin all the way around. They'll spin real easy though, so that's why I think I probably didn't turn them, but that one doesn't like to turn at all. So I'm going to be taking the cover back off again. Like I say, it's always something. Just putting it on thinking, there's got to be a reason that I shouldn't put this cover on here first. And now I know what it was. I mean, I'm sure it would have been fine. And if I look, I'm sure it'll be fine. If I didn't look, I'd never know. And then you know how that would be. I don't even know what time it is now. Again, wasted way too much time. Okay. This is still, looks to me like it's still really good. Both of them are, this one moved a little bit, but that one's 10. So let me line that one back up. The other one's already 10. Guys, these knobs come next. Now these don't really matter, but I'm going to try and match. Match the top screw. They're both about the same place. That's how they were when it came out. Where would you like to be for me to work with you? Let's put you right there. I'm actually going to shoot a little bit of lubricant in here. They're really hard to turn both of them on. So let me get some stuff to shoot in there a little bit. Just a wee little dab. Super Lube, synthetic lightweight oil. This is, I believe, I use this for clocks. Let's put it downhill here. Drop it there. I'm going to drop that inside there. Actually, put this off. Possibly could get it from the front, maybe. It's supposed to not be bad for the plastic. I don't think I'm going to try and put it in through the front because it's an all plastic knob. I know it's supposed to be a little tight because it has to hold the adjustment. I don't want it changing. Get a little bit, then put a little shaft on the other side. And they have little, I'll show you, it looks like little maybe rubber. Maybe that ages too and causes it to not be as easy to move. Maybe it's an overachiever when it comes to overachiever when it comes to holding the adjustment. Some in this one. This one looks like it might be a tad easier to get at. Weensy little tiny drop. It's a technical term. Yeah, you can see it has a like a grommet there and that, but I don't think it should be that tight to turn. Yeah, it's not hitting anything. It's not tight like that. Now I'm starting to be able to turn with my hand before I could even do that. So let's get this back to where it should be. That should be the 10 area right there. The little dial looks good. So I'll just tighten up the top dial. Come on. I don't know why that's not going in there very well. I just can't even get on the screw in there. There we go. Nice. Make sure it's right about wide open. Is it the 10? Perfect. Let's look at the top one and do the same thing. Same drill. There's that. Put this little guy here right at the 10. Not working on the bench, but just makes it a little bit easier if I can hold it in my hand. There's that. And this guy will be right about the same spot. So if it's at the 10, the screw's right about the 0. Oh, nice. Nice. So now you can see these guys turn nice and good. There's that. Alright. Next two to go on are these switches. Where did we leave you? These aren't a problem. These have detents and only go so far, whereas like the other ones keep going around in circles. All right, sure. Tighten it up a little bit. I hate this little cheapy screwdriver, but I don't have anything small enough to get in there. Perfect. All right, that goes to all positions. Everything seems to be working. Back on. Alright, looks like I have it the right way this time. Also, when I had 3 of me, we could put these screws on so much faster. I shouldn't put it back together before I test it, but you know, I'm sure it'll be fine. We didn't really do much to it. Freshened up some solder joints. That's not rocket science, and I cleaned some doohickeys, some switches, and a resistor, but I'm sure that's fine as well. If that broke something, then we should have definitely caught it. Where's the cap at for my oil? Yeah, I bought that oil for the cuckoo clock that I was working on. And that's funny, when you get those older clocks like that, that's all they really usually need is just cleaned and oiled. I mean, you put the oil on, put it on, I put some in a little bowl and I take or in a little cup and I take a toothpick, dip it in there and put it on the spindle of the gear where it goes into the metal. You know, if it's not a bushing or anything, just a piece of metal. And that's enough. That's enough oil. Maybe for a lifetime. You know, dust and dirt was the enemy of those kind of clocks. Don't have that problem with the digital movement. Everything's electronic. Everything's electronic. Let's see. All right. On with you guys. I'm done with you. I got no more use for this guy. You go here. You go here. You get a cable up. We're going to try it real quick. Poopy. I'll have probably easier if I put it behind there. Let me do that real quick. I'm going to put you on pause for a minute here. Alright, so there we are. I know last time you couldn't really have a good view. I'm not really worried about doing too much. Just see if this thing works. So I got on 28. We're not going to go through that. Come straight through this. Like I said, on this side, antenna 1 is going straight through, but we should still be able to do an SWR test. I think things should still work. Let's see. Put it on AM. And put it on calibrate. Here we go, forward, and now our SWR. It's about what we expect. It's 28. You know, it's a, what do you call it, 10, 11 meter antenna, so it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. So let's just see, real quick, we'll go up and see. I don't know if we can, let's go up to 14. The reason I picked 14 megahertz is because I don't think there's anything going on. So I think we're going to find that the SWR is terrible on. Yeah. So let's just see. Let's calibrate and the SWR. Oh yeah, it's almost out of here. So what we'll do is let's check. That would also be the same as the reflected. That would be affected by that would affect reflected power. How about that? So I'll turn on power and reflected, and it's probably going to be pretty high. So what we want to do, remember I was saying we're going to listen for it. You can watch the meter here. I'm trying to do it. My arm's on the way. Whoop. First off, let's put it on the right band. 14. Now that we're going to tune it, you want it on the right band. And there we go. Now we've picked the antenna 1. We're going through the tuner now. I don't know if you can see that. So that's good there. Let's try. That's the inductance. About good there for the resistance. So now let's see what our reflected power is. A little bit lower, it came down some. And now let's see if we can adjust that out of there. My hand in here, I'll do this without. Okay, to see how low my return power got. So my forward power, that's the power going out to the antenna, is right about there, about 5 watts. Because I think I had this on, 20. Probably if I looked at power here, they'd probably tell me about the same thing. Yeah, hardly even reach it. So, and my return power is almost nothing. So let's see what our SWR is now. So, when you have a good match, all the power goes out the door, out the window, out to the antenna, and it's gone. When you don't have a good match, it kind of runs into itself and some of it comes back down the cable. That's when you get the reflected power and the bad SWR. So theoretically, we should have better SWR now. So let's look at it. Have to set the calibration. Probably going to need more power because there's just not enough to drive that. So we turn the power up a little bit here. Oh, come on. Too much power. Too much power. It's still enough power. Sorry, I screwed that whole thing up. It probably would have been enough with that 5 watts. Anyhow, I forgot to turn that on to SWR. So we'll look at our power. And let's look at our SWR. Not bad. Not bad, less than 1.1 to 1.5. So the increase in power wouldn't have changed anything. It's just I didn't realize why when I had the cow going all the way it wasn't going. I thought maybe I just didn't have enough power going into it. So I'll set it back at about 5 watts and you'll see that it affects nothing. So let's go 2 power forward and let's set this back to about 5 watts. We'll look till it comes back. About 5 watts. So now we'll calibrate it. And we'll check our SWR. See, wave up. So, yeah, so anyhow, that's the antenna tuner. That's how it should work. And that's what we should have it doing yesterday. Now, or the day, whenever the heck we did. So let's just see what this is saying our SWR is. This is the meter attached to the actual built-in meter that's seeing the power leaving this and go into that. So let's just see what it thinks our SWR is. I don't know if you can see that. Try and zoom in a little bit for you. Right there, we'll see. So it thinks our SWR is pretty low. Let's see what happens when we aren't going through the tuning network. Whoa. So this does see this when it's working correctly. This definitely sees this as a plus. So that was the answer to the question that we had originally started with. So, okay, sum up, everything seems to be working. And yes, when you make changes to this, the radio sees it the same as it would if you made changes with the internal antenna tuner. All we're doing is taking the place of that. So I wanted to see that, and I also just wanted to see if this thing was working, and it seems to be working. I'm happy with it. And that's it. So thanks for watching. I hope it gave you something to do, gave you some ideas, and if you were, let me zoom out again so you can, yeah, if you're in such a mind to work on one of these, you just weren't sure what to run into. I'm sure there's other videos on YouTube, but now you know. So thanks for watching. Take care.